Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going really well. This is beautiful. This is very, very
It looks
nice.
kind of mean. It looks tactical and mean, and so you want to pull in somewhere and give kind of a little tour?
Sure.
A little walkthrough?
Sure. Let's do
Super duty, a super walkthrough. I'm going to give you some of the basic information on the truck, and then we're going to do a kind of a tour. But just know there's going to be more to come as we hook up. We have a trip coming down the West Coast. We're going to go all the way to the Keys. That'll be the first time we hook up with this truck right now. We got it, had 250 miles on it when we got it. You're really not supposed to tow with diesel until you get to at least 1,000 miles. And I want to cover more about like the break-in process with diesel. But so I've been trying to drive it as much as I can so that we can get to 1,000 miles before we hook up. When we hook up, there'll be a lot more to share with the new Super Duty screen as it relates to like the towing information that it provides. So there's some of that. In 2025, or I should say 24 and newer, the Super Duties, they kind of got a little more tactical with the step on the side and the steps in the back. And so I just thought going a different direction for the build would be kind of fun. We don't normally do 35-inch BFG tires. We don't normally level the trucks we've had because they've been geared for single mission towing. But we thought this would be fun to do a slightly different direction. We're gonna do the black Smart Cap, the Adventure model, which is metal. We're even doing a security screen for the back window because we keep the bikes back there. I'm even considering like a bin on the side, on the passenger side or curb sides. In terms of the bed of the truck, next week, I think we're installing the T-mat. So I'm not gonna do any type of roller cargo this time. We're gonna do a T-mat. It's more affordable. It has a little bit of sliding mobility, which is good. And then it allows us to lock in things in the bed of the truck, which I think would be cool. And then of course, the Grover horn, really excited about that. Compressor, airbags, and then, oh, and did I mention the 60-gallon fuel tank? We're going directly to S&B in California to install the 60-gallon fuel tank. All right, what do you think of the step?
This is gonna be great, especially when you put the truck cap on.
Yes.
Because then you'll be able to like go in through the side.
Yeah.
And you can actually access things from the side, and you'll be able to get to them instead of stepping on a tire.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people just step on their tire, but you could slip off of that a little bit easier.
I'm telling you, it's dangerous.
A little bit easier than this.
Yeah. Nice. So this is like that onboard, I think they call it like an onboard generator or something or other. More to come on that because I really don't know, but I think it's a pretty good power option. Randy was actually thinking, Trish, about installing the quick disconnect air chuck right there underneath that green button. So that way all the utility stuff is right there.
I like that.
So we were thinking about pulling this out and seeing if we can access behind it and then drilling into that plastic.
That is really cool. Really cool idea.
The other thing I love is this color. So this is the Glacier Gray in 25, which is different than the Glacier Gray in 24, if I have that right. In fact, Ford made changes in 24. They got rid of the iconic silver. They changed the Glacier Gray to this. What I love about this color is that right now it looks like dark gray, but sometimes it looks kind of blue and sometimes it looks kind of light gray. So I like a truck that changes color. Now that we have Charlie's Chariot right here, and this is up, I'm unable to have the storage compartment out like I normally would. So I think we're gonna get like a small little container so that we can have like first aid kit and like some tools and stuff like that. I'm also interested this time around of installing a WeBoost. In fact, if you can see, if you pull this down right here, I can install a WeBoost back here behind the seat and an antenna that would go attached to the Smart Cap, because when Trish and I are doing long travel days, we like to catch up with the kids and we're usually on the phone for a long period of time. We always go for the big panoramic sunroof option. What's interesting about that is most of the people I talk to don't like it. Most of the people don't even leave it open. If they have it, they don't leave it open, and then they don't want the option. We like it for video because we think it kind of adds a little bit to the video, and we do some in-cab conversations with the GoPro, and it's just kind of nice to have some light in. And so, you know, we keep it closed unless we're shooting, and then we just open it up and turn the camera on. There's some things that I'm not going to change, and that is where I put the airbag controller, the switch for the air. Add some air into the truck real quick. But I think I took it all out.
What do you want?
30.
Oh, that's where she is.
I'll still try to find a way to put it in this upper glove box. I know that you can get airbags with the remote. I know you can control the airbags with a phone, and I know that's a simpler installation process. It's just I would prefer to just adjust the air manually because I'm already sitting right there, and that's when I know I need to adjust it, or I walk up here and I just psh, and it takes 4 seconds. So, no power step. I really enjoyed the power step because they're lower and it was easier for Charlie to get up in the truck. And it is a lot higher. The seats are much different than the Platinum seats we had in our truck. If you've been doing your research on some of the changes that they've made in 24, I should just say 25 and newer, they've moved away from leather seats in the Lariat trim, which is what this is. This is, I guess it's referred to as like Active X. It's not leather. The seats are more plush. I personally prefer a firmer seat that comes out a little bit further underneath my legs. So I guess we won't know how they are until we take some long drive days. I do like what they've done with the dash and of course the big screen, and in 25 they've changed a lot of the knobs around where you've got the camera right over here by the volume button, so they've taken some buttons from the top up here and they've moved it down. It of course has the Pro trailer knob, additional 12 volt power and AC power. Stuff that I do like in the cab, the redesign of this area where you can put a phone like this. You can put the phone in there, which charges. I have the Pro Clip, which I installed right here, and I'll show that installation of that. Now, there are some things that I don't like. Okay, the first one is Ford, as of 25, not 24, and 25, they've moved away from the keypad on the door. Aww. Where's the keypad? They got rid of that in 25?
They got rid of it, yeah. It's crazy, you know?
It is now a dealer installed option, but the problem is it's clunky, it's not seamless, it doesn't look very nice, and initial reaction is I'm not a big fan. That's the biggest. The second thing I don't like is the knobs. Previously Ford, they have mastered the knob. In fact, I have actual footage of the knob guy at Ford designing and thinking about brainstorming the creation of these knobs. And clearly, he retired, and a new knob guy took his place, and on the first day of the job, and now it feels cheap. I don't know what they were thinking. Very dissatisfied with the knob. All right, now let's get to the good stuff. I want to talk about the motor, the high output diesel, the gear ratio, but first, real quick, let's talk about the ride. With these big tires and the leveling kit, does it ride differently than our last Super Duty? And it definitely does ride more like a truck, but it's not as bad as I thought it would be. I will tell you though, when I first pulled off the lot and I got on a road that was slightly rough, it's not as smooth as my truck, which is why I've always gotten the Michelin LTX AT2 tires. And then it occurred to me the next day to check the tire pressure, and sure enough, all the tires were set to max cold. So I lowered it from 75 PSI down to 60, 65, and the ride did improve, which made me feel a lot better. The real question that's on my mind now is how is it going to tow, and how much squat will there be when I finally do hook up the Airstream to the truck. I mean, we're going to add airbags, but not right away. And so that'll be interesting to kind of see how that goes, and we'll report back. All right, now let's talk about the motor. This is the 6.7 liter diesel motor with the high output option, which means that it has 1,200 pounds of torque. I mean, it is screaming fast. In fact, even the high speed torque, like it's 65 miles per hour, if you step on it, it throws you back. It's truly unbelievable. Now, the high output motor is not something I would consider to be essential. In fact, if I were to order one, I probably wouldn't have gotten it, but this truck was equipped with it. And this truck was also equipped with a 3:1 gear ratio, which is another thing I probably wouldn't have done. But I was intrigued by the combination of the high output diesel with the 3:1. And what I mean by that is, if you're familiar with how gear ratio works, a 3:1 is not going to have as much torque, but will get better fuel economy. So right now this truck has 750 miles on it. Like I said, I'm driving it as much as I can to try to get to 1,000 before we hook up and tow. And in that, well, I did put the first 250 on. So in the last 500 miles, I'm showing 16.9 miles per the gallon. not bad. But if you have a 3-3-1 gear ratio, you'll get good mileage, good fuel economy when not towing, but then the fuel economy goes way down when you are towing. Then it occurred to me with the high output diesel, well, that kind of offset the gear ratio. And so as a result of this conversation, I thought, well, it's kind of interesting, and we might as well do something different to compare what it's like, and then I can report back to you. So those that are considering what gear ratio to get, or what size truck or motor, it might be something interesting to talk about. Okay, the other thing that was surprising when I was looking at this truck was the GVWR. This truck has a GVWR, that's the gross vehicle weight rating, of 11,100 pounds. And at first I didn't think that was possible with an F-250, and so I did some more digging, and I went to the KYD Insiders and we had a conversation about it. Because I didn't build this truck, this was just sitting on the lot. If you build a Super Duty, there is an option for a higher gross vehicle weight rating. So as a result of having a higher GVWR, I now have a higher payload. The payload on this truck is 3,159. So that's the amount of, of course, the tongue weight of the trailer, all the gear, and passengers. So for someone towing an Airstream with a tongue weight of only 1,200 pounds, that is more than enough, even when I put the 60-gallon fuel tank on, and the smart cap, and the horn. In fact, we did a video on payload capacity, towing capacity, and I think a lot of new RVers get wrapped up into how much can a truck tow, like what's the towing capacity. It makes sense, the same thing I was thinking about when we first got into this. And then you start finding out all the different ratings that are actually potentially more important, like the cargo capacity, the payload. What are the axle ratings? What are the tire ratings? These are the ratings that you will likely end up meeting long before you get to towing capacity. Now that does mean that I've got the overload springs and a heavier rated axle. So I think those are the things that are included with the GVWR option. All right, now let's talk about Charlie. Charlie is our English snuffleupagus. He's a 80-pound golden retriever with a lot of hair. And he's kind of a nervous traveler. And I think I found a really good solution for Charlie so that he has his own space in the truck. I set it up at the house. I invited Charlie to go in. I threw some toys in. Initial results tested poorly, but I really believe once he gets acclimated to the space, it's going to be better for Charlie, it's going to be better for us, and it's going to be a lot better for the truck. Look. I know. I'm excited about it too. Come here. No, you keep losing attention. Come here. This is Charlie. This is your F-250 home. Come on, come here. Go get that toy. It's okay. Go get that toy. How about that toy? Good boy. Yes, go lie down. Grab your toy, lie down. Oh, this is gonna be a long road. Come here, Charlie. It's perfect.
Perfect.
It's perfect.
It's completely taken over.
Well, I know, but so does he. He's completely taken over the back row, but now he has a space. Look at this, is actually really good, don't you think? I think he's really gonna enjoy it.
You need to make this way softer.
Well, I gotta make it flat.
Way softer.
I know. I'm gonna get those little rubber things. The ones I bought were too big. Yeah, I'm gonna put the rubber.
Is this a child's playpen?
No, it's a dog. Look at it has a top so he can stick his head on the top.
You know he's gonna jump out.
He's not, because he can't.
He will.
He will not.
He will surprise you with what he can do. Here we go.
Oh, there he goes. No, this is phenomenal. I am so excited for him.
You're excited for him. It's like buying the truck and saying it's for me.
It was for you! That vacuum that they're using draws a ton of power. I'm gonna have to turn on the generator in a little bit.
Yeah, Amazon.
Really? You can?
Yeah, so like, see how it just pulls it up?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah. These guys did such a great job. Look at this thing. It's so clean. It's so nice. Let me show you the inside. All the dog hair. All of Charlie is completely removed. I'm gonna be here with John tomorrow, picking him up in Tampa tomorrow, and then we'll come up here. And one of the things he's particularly excited about, and I don't blame him, is the air horn. So I want to make sure there's a bunch of air in the compressor, so as soon as he gets here, make sure that all works great for him. Oh yeah, it works. That's good. So tomorrow my plan with John is to go through and do a total walk around. Where are certain things and how are things hooked up? Like for instance, these quick disconnects, these Prevost quick disconnects are super nice. And I just got him a new one. So if the one is on there is any gummed up, you can just swap it out with this one. But anyway, we'll go around, we'll talk about the air and where the horn's located and where the airlines are, and you know, the stuff that's mounted up there. Like something that we did that I don't think we talked about much on the channel is upfitter number 6 actually sends 12-volt power back to the bed of the truck. So if you've got something like one of those Dometic CFX refrigerators that you put in the back and you want to power it when the truck is off, we hooked that up to upfitter number 6, and then you can take a fuse out of position number 5 and 6, and then that makes it so that switch is active with the truck off. That's what those 2 switches are for. And then upfitter switch number 3, if you put the parking brake on, the truck's in park, and you hit upfit 3, you hear that? The reason that's good, you really shouldn't be idling a diesel, but if you had to, at least you can go to high idle, and it kind of like keeps everything hot. It's just better for the motor. So let's see. So upfitter 1 is the compressor, upfitter 2 is the horn, upfitter 3 is the high idle, and then upfitter 6 is for the 12 volt that gets power back. Of course, I had these guys clean the engine too. Want to make sure all this was nice and clean. We got the 2 new batteries. We got the DCR pump that's tucked way down there at the bottom. And then we got these, the pusher installed. And then this is where the DC to DC battery is right here. This is the bolt that was stripped that causes all the problems that, quite frankly, probably started this whole thing, is changing out this battery. But we got two new batteries. This is the fuses for the ARB compressor, and then this is the wiring for the high idle. Make sure I put that second key there so I don't forget. Out of everything I'm gonna miss, that's what I'm gonna miss the most. Just can't even believe they would get rid of this. All right, that's the rundown on this truck, but now we've got another truck that has some new owners. And John and Dina are KYD insiders. They were the first to call dibs on the truck. They live out in East Texas, and John flew out from Dallas. I picked him up at the airport so that he can take delivery of the new truck. And I was thrilled that he was excited about it, as I was, because it is such a good truck. Yeah, and then the compressor's on because that's the first switch, and then the air horn's the second switch.
And it sticks.
It does. No, there's a little bit of finesse.
I am not built for finesse.
There's a little bit of finesse. You got to keep your hand on there if you want to just give it a little pop. It's a learned skill, but you'll catch on quick.
Well, the people in front of me will be my guinea pig.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
It's loud, isn't it?
That's good.
That's real good.
That's good.
Yeah, you look good in it.
Feel good.
How many miles are you gonna drive today?
914. That's what's on the fuel gauge. I'm fine. He said the truck looks even better in person, which is really cool. So there he goes. He's gonna drive back to Tyler, Texas. God, that truck is a good looking truck. That is my favorite truck I've ever had, by a lot. And I know a lot of people are gonna be watching this saying I should not have sold the truck, but I tell you what, it's just really important for Trish and I when we do sell either an Airstream like we did, or trucks we've had in the past, it's important to us that they are in the best possible condition when we sell them. And now is a good time for that. And plus, we also really like to share content as it relates to these builds and modifications, because we've learned over the years that that is why people are tuning into YouTube. They get either a new truck, or they're thinking about a truck, or what am I gonna do with my bikes, or how does the hitch work, or should I add air? That's what draws people to YouTube initially. And then once they check out our videos, if we're lucky enough they stumble across our videos, and they're like, oh, I kind of like how they explain things, or I like what they're up to, and then maybe we get lucky and they find out where we're going, and then they tune into the travel videos. And so that's kind of a little bit about how YouTube works. And so doing this is an opportunity for us to start all over again and do things a little bit differently. So, end of an era, but I'm excited for John and Dina. God, it's a good looking truck. Watch him just drive off. And now we got a lot of work to do with the new truck, but I think all said and done, you're gonna like the way it looks. A little different, but it looks good.
What's going on here?
John and Dina
Yes?
got you a gift.
What?
These are fresh HEB tortillas.
That is the coolest thing ever. Oh, wow.
And they got HEB Austin, Texas roast, DFW roast,
Oh, my word.
and San Antonio roast.
That is so nice.
Isn't that great?
I can't wait to use these.
I know, I knew you'd be excited.
Oh my gosh. Well, first we can make a dessert with like honey
Yes.
and
Yeah.
butter.
Uh-huh.
You could go cinnamon sugar.
Yeah.
We can go into the burritos.
Our truck is gonna have Texas plates.
Oh.
And I said to
that's so
him, I
cute.
said, how long will before you have to get a guardrail on the front of the truck? I mean, is that mandatory when you cross the border? Do you have to get the guardrail?
It just goes.
I could tell he was very happy, and that was great for us.
Yes.
And that's what we like. We like doing these builds and then having somebody in the community get to enjoy
Experience
them
it.
and experience them.
Yeah.
And this is what we do.
Yeah.
And I like doing that too. So we've got a lot to cover in the coming weeks as we get on the road. I start doing these mods and we start traveling. I think our route this year is somewhere between 17,000 and 20,000 miles of just the RV route. That doesn't include the driving, just the RV route. We're gonna be crossing the country twice, going east to west, west to east, north to south. It's gonna be pretty crazy. We got some meetups planned. We've got some rides, a KYD ride planned. So lots to come. Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes. Here, let me have a little bite.
Oh, HEB is the best.
Hold it. Yes.
Wow.
Oh.
That's so good.